Cool.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, another night with Kurt and Mo on Beyond the White Noise Paranormal and VidCast. Tonight we have a very special guest, Tim Brown of P.I.G.S. Paranormal Investigative Services of East Sussex. Actually, Tim's from East Sussex. I've messed that up more than once, and we're psyched to have Tim on. Tim's got a lot to talk about. What's coming up? He's got some really good stuff coming up that I think the people in the UK are going to be very glad to hear, and other people in the UK will be frowning, and let them frown and let them cry. Okay, here we go. Tonight, Tim, welcome back, man. You're always welcome on the show. How's life?
Hi, Kurt. Everything is absolutely super cool and groovy, and it's brilliant to be back here on your show. It's just absolutely awesome. I'm really grateful to you for getting my name right this time. Last time it was
Tom Brown. It was Tom Brown. And I've known you for a long. It's over like 2 years now, and I'm still misspelling your name. Today I made sure it was Tim Brown. I was like, my big elephant. That's the thumb that ruined your name.
No, that's cool. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. The other thing is my group is P.I.G.S, and the people know it very well as P.I.G.S, and it's got a long story behind that. But it actually is Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service. It used to be Paranormal Investigation Group Sussex, but it was whatever, and then we just changed it to that to kind of fit what we were doing. But one of the interesting things, we one of our guys, her name's Lauren. She was awesome. She introduced us once as the Paranormal Investigation Sussex Society, which of course equals P.I.S, and that's an interesting take. We almost changed our t-shirts. We should have done it probably.
Oh, that's
perfect. Do you know what? I've been called many things. We've had many names. Kurt, you've been called Meatloaf for the entire duration.
And yes, Mo, I stuck with it. I earned the name. So I guess I had to earn the name to be called Meatloaf. So there goes.
Yeah, it's got on your thing there. It says Meatloaf here. Says it.
Yeah. Well, it only says that because his mother and Meatloaf wants this one. Let's not go there. We'll talk about that another time.
That's a later time. That's all fair time because I get hurt feelings and I start tearing up on show, and then I start telling the guests my life story and what's so wrong with my life and everything else. By that point, it's such a downer that Mo finally shaved his boy band beard and actually works a real job instead of collecting a government check the first of the month and running around the estate yelling at all the chavs. I'm harder than you. So enough of that. Let's focus on Tim, man. Tim, we apologize. We do this. This is all fun.
Why do we invite Tim? Why did we invite the American?
Because we won the war. That's why.
Yeah, no, you never. You never won the war. You just bombed everywhere and walked out.
Yeah, but you did.
Bill and sent us the bill. Don't worry about that.
Left us with all the equipment we couldn't get rid of.
We lent you the ships on kind of a lend-lease policy, and the check bounced. That's all I can say. The check bounced on the lease policy, and I'm holding it. Luckily, the gunneries were in Ireland probably at that point. Yeah. So I can't blame Mo for this one.
Tim, you're being photobombed. You're being photobombed there by your kids. That's amazing.
I see it. Awesome. There's nothing like a bit of photobombing going on. If you're going to come and be photobomb, you must do it properly. Come on. This is my son here. Come, Ollie. This is Ollie.
The missus. Your son. I couldn't see. I go, son, I apologize. Oh my God, I did it again. Hey, what's your son's name?
Oliver. He can't.
Oliver. Okay.
Ollie.
Oliver, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Oliver, I'll just mute the American because the American's just being horrible to you. So what I'll do is I'll just mute him. Do you like that, American? Sorry. What? Yeah, I'll bring you back now. Go on.
All right, Mo. There's going to be revenge for that. You're going to pay for that one. Okay, Oliver. Well, hey, welcome to Beyond the White Noise Paranormal with an American and a Scouse. Put us two together, we equal tramp. So basically, So basically, Oliver, does your dad take you on a lot of investigations?
Just say what you want.
Answer it, my man. Answer it. We got you on.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
We saw a ghost. When Ollie was 5 years old, we went to a place called Pevensey Castle, and it was dusk, you know. He was only a little lad, and was telling the history and talking about the various things that go on. And all of a sudden, there's this like white, misty kind of figure just like walking across the grass, and like, it can't be 100 yards in front of us. And we both looked at Ollie's gone, "What's that?" And I'm going, "I didn't want to say it. It's a ghost in case it freaked him out." So I go, "Well, it's a kind of you know, it's a," and as I reached from a camera to try and get a capture of it, just disappeared. We both watched this thing just disappear. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oliver, I got another question for you. Have you ever seen your dad do a runner while you're just standing there holding the equipment, going, "How am I getting home tonight?" You know, I kind of want to know that from Tim, because I've never asked Tim that question before. Has he ever pulled a runner? We know Mo likes to fall into graves, but Mo doesn't really run. Mo's not a runner. Remember, this big guy you see next to me, the big scouse, he's only 5'7" and probably about 300 stone. So, I mean, he's not going to run that far, Oliver. So.
Oliver, I've got a question for you, right? Does your dad actually pay you any money?
No.
Yeah, that's the end of my free services.
Awesome.
Right, there goes that show. Don't listen to the American. That's all I'm saying.
I've taken him off now. It's going to be expensive.
You know what? He's all good. Do you know what? Right? How old is he?
He's 13.
Do you know what? 13 years of age. If my dad had said to me, "Speak to this gentleman or speak to these friends here," right? I'd have looked at him with, "Dad, I hate you," and stormed out with me emo haircut and me big bomber jacket on.
He pulled an absolute blinder today, right? I've got a Land Rover Defender, and I don't know if when you drive one of these things, every other Land Rover Defender will wave at you. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
You drive down, they wave, and you wave back, and that's it. And if you don't, you're an arsehole. But anyway, always wave. and this guy drove around the corners today in a Land Rover Defender. I was driving mine, and he waved, and I waved back, and Ollie said to me, "He waved first." And I said, "Yeah, it's one of the things that we all do." And he goes, "You know what, Dad? I thought it was just you that waved at them." He thought that I drove around the streets waving at every Land Rover I ever saw, just for no reason. Like
well, they do that like certain times, even in America. If you got a certain car, you give a honk or you'll flash the brights. But Tim, I do want to ask you to ask Mo a question. Ask what kind of car Mo actually drives.
Mo, what actually do you drive?
He doesn't have a license and he's 32.
No,
that's all I wanted to point out. That's all I had to point out.
No. If we're going to play cocky beggars right now, Kate, right? I don't need to drive, right? My team all drive, right? My wife is amazing, and she's such a lovable woman.
I know she is.
A driver, as well as
right there.
She's right there watching me like that.
That's great.
Right. Anywho, yeah, and Kate, I don't need to drive because I do this thing, right? It's called walking. Have you tried it?
Dude, I've owned a car since I was 16, dude. I can't argue this. I win this battle. I won.
How'd you walk from your apartment to your car, from your car to the petrol station, back to the
I walk to the petrol station. And then I'll drive there if I need to fill up.
That's only because you live in the bin behind it.
Yeah, it's right behind me. Yeah.
Yeah, you live in the bin behind it. Yeah,
I had some guy last night, some ginger. It's about 11 o'clock. I went to pick up my energy drinks in the morning, and we call these guys the Habibs but they're the nicest guys in the world. I mean, they're the kind of guys, if you're short $2 by chance, they'll let you bring it by whenever if you're a good customer. And I'm sitting behind some ginger, trying to stir it with the Habib, asking him if he knows English, and I'm looking around at all the cameras. I'm going to see every angle. I was like, if I could pop, he's like a fraternity kind of guy. And I was like, if I could pop him in this head, the side of his temple, with this energy drink, I wonder if I could get away with it. You know, I honestly was thinking that. I'm thinking that the whole time, and it came down to 1, 2. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know, because he was trying to show off or something. You know, I'm hawking behind him, going like, dude, that is. I don't know, man. It just pissed me off last night. Then all sorts of other weird stuff going on yesterday and today. But aside from that, Tim, I'm going to ask Tim how his week was.
You know, my week it's been pretty cool actually. I've been researching new kit for my ghost store, and I've got a few new lines. I've invested a little bit in to try and get them to see what they're like. Sometimes you buy a product and you think it's great and you get it through and it's not very good, and they usually just end up. Actually, the P.I.G.S gets those stuff. but I've got some quite exciting, interesting little things. I mean, get this one right. A dictaphone. You're doing EVP recording. I've got a dictaphone coming through. I haven't used it yet, but I've got a dictaphone. It can actually do video recording as well. So you can be doing your things, your EVP, and then you can flick on and have a video going on as well on this dictaphone.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Never seen those before.
I've got one Zoom Q3, it's a standard definition one, but it's really the audio is brilliant. The camera's crap.
Yeah.
And, so let's hope yours is a lot better than mine.
Well, I just thought, bearing in mind, that most people hold a dictaphone. I've got one, I haven't got one on my desk. This will do. Pretend this is a dictaphone. If most people hold their dictaphones, they tend to, I've seen they kind of do this with their dictaphones.
Yeah.
So,
can you hold that up a little
footage,
closer to your camera, Tim?
This is a camera case, of course. But it's if you're gonna, this is a dictaphone, you kind of hold it here, and just the footage is going to be like the top of people's noses. It's like we got a whole new orb thing going on this footage, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking forward to those. What else have we been up to this week? I went for a walk around Pevensey Castle today. Pevensey Castle is like a really, really haunted place down where we live. Because next week we're doing a free event for people. That can come along with us, absolutely no cost at all. 5 P.I.G.S team leaders will take them around Pevensey Castle and do all sorts of cool experiments on the way around.
Yeah.
Currently it's sold out, so you can't sign up for it, unfortunately, if you're listening to this. But that's what we'll be doing, and it was just bloody awesome. There's places like, I don't know, it's got a Roman wall outside, and it was built in the middle by people from a long time ago. I don't know the dates, but no, it's great. And I've done that today.
Do you know what was even better? Is the beginning of your conversation there. You went, "We've got a free event this week, and it's for coming on."
Yeah, I like that.
And then he went for people.
For people.
I'm glad you narrowed it down. This is really impressive. Oh,
so
God.
Mo, how was your week?
Oh, my week's been really. It's been nothing but evidence review. Nothing but evidence review. It's my own failing because what I do is if we go somewhere and I throw a camera down, I don't just put one camera down. What I'll do is there'll be 4 or 5 cameras, then there'll be other pieces of equipment left, right, and centre. So you think, well, you've only been there 6 hours, maybe 7 hours, and then you realise 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42 hours worth of footage to review. Before you know it, you've got piles of footage you need to rip to pieces. And you know what? The worst part is the physical size of the footage is trying to get it. It's massive, so I can't even move it anywhere. And
Can you send some over to my Dropbox?
Do you know what? Right, I actually started. I started yesterday. I put a file in Dropbox yesterday, trying to upload it, and it's still uploading now.
Oh, okay. I got your back on that. It'll give me something to focus on and stuff like that because I focus on too much TV and not enough what I should be doing. So.
Oh no, I understand. Also, as well, another thing I've managed to do this week. I've been, I have a tendency of trying to help other groups. Like if someone new starting up, I'll give them a little bit of advice with like technology or just that type of stuff. And we got another lad came into the place I work, and it's weird. People treat the paranormal like it's the closet. Like they're coming out, and it's weird. They'll walk in and they'll go, "Well, I'm looking for a voice recorder," and you go, "Right, okay, what do you want a voice recorder for?" And he goes, What was that, mate? And you're like, what is it? He goes, EVP, and whispers it, and you're like, you get a voice recorder for EVP. What type are you going for? He goes, and you're like,
that's awesome.
Do you know what the worst part is? It is like coming out of the non-gay closet when you get into a situation like that, because you sort of go, come on, mate, don't worry about it. Come with me. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're looking for. I'll guide you in the right direction. And then before you know it, you turn into that creepy guy who's grooming somebody. It sounds really bad. Like, there's no
Uncle Mo. Everybody calls him Uncle Mo in there.
Oh man, it was bad. It was bad. But nevertheless, it was done and dusted. But then the worst part is when they find out you're into something, like when you're into the paranormal, the first thing they do is they go, right, well, I've got this picture on my phone, and if you look at it, right, it's a dot right there in the corner. It's me nan, or it's me granddad. You're like, oh my god, this has happened. So yeah, that's my week in a nutshell, literally.
Well, Tim, I mean, on the topic of what Mo was just talking about, too, because Mo does do a lot of dealings with other groups and stuff like that, and if I have a question on something that I get asked that's not super easy for me to answer tech-wise, I'll send it over to Mo, and he'll just basically hand it to his wife. She'll type it in, and then I get it in return. But do you get a lot of that, too? I mean, do you get people to do that with you to the point where you want to explain it as basically camera malfunction? Or the latest one I saw was a rod, and the guy goes, the camera wasn't moving. I go, oh God, this one, I could blow it out of the water. But I chose to be very diplomatic about it, even though, it was just light camera movement. And that, do you get a lot of that too, Tim? I mean,
yeah, I do. I mean, people send me, the latest thing, and I expect you guys get it as well, excuse me, is I keep getting sent pictures of apps, like generated from an app. Like, why are you sending me ghosts from an app? Because I can pick it. I always ask for the original file, and as soon as I got the original file, I've got this thing on my system where I can just look at the root data, and it tells me where it's been the camera settings, and if there's no camera settings on there, then I know it's come from something else. Like sometimes it tells me the app, and if I go send it back, say this is an app. And the trouble is, you get some people that send you genuine photographs, and rightly so, because I think that people should send through the right pictures. But as an experienced investigator, that this is lens flare, it's a reflection, it could be 100 million other things. The moment you say, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, this is whatever it actually is, they hate you. They hate you for telling them that it's not a ghost.
I was really frustrated about a year and a half ago because I had this young lad, right? That sounded really creepy. This young guy came into
just to let you know, I just want to break in here. Just say it is Gay Pride Week down in Brighton, which is
Liverpool. It's Liverpool Pride going on today. That's all I gotta say.
That's what the beard's about.
It's all good.
Really wearing chaps underneath that. You don't know that, Tim, but we'll
I'm not wearing anything underneath it.
We should embrace pride. Pride's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's forward thinking. But back to the 15-year-old child, right? What happened was I went to this. There was like a group event, like where everyone goes and investigates a cemetery, and it was a new guy who was running it. He was not new, but he was new to events. So we said, a couple of our team members said, we'll go down and we'll be there if you need to ask any questions or if you need any verification about the history. We're there. And while we were there, everyone was going, are they the ghost hunters? And this one lad comes over. He's about 20. He goes, are you a ghost hunter? I went, no, I don't hunt nothing. I tend to investigate the paranormal, but I'm not really a very good hunter, being a smart ass like I normally do. So I kept it going for a little bit, and everyone was coming over. I was being a smart ass, and this young lad come over to me. He was about 14, and he goes, "Excuse me." I went, "You're right, mate." He goes, "Are you a paranormal investigator?" I went, "Well, yeah, I like to think so, yeah." He went, "Can I show you something?" Yeah, okay, let's go for it. He went and grabbed his mum's camera. He went, "Can you have a look at that?" And he asked me to look at a picture. The picture was very questionable. I'll give it, not creepy, but there was something in the picture in my eyes. But I said, listen, do us a favour, send me a copy of it. I went, what's your opinion too? He went, my opinion? He went, I'm going to err towards the fact that it might be mist, just literally cold air mist. He went, but I just want someone else's verification. That was the first time I ever come across somebody who investigated the paranormal on their own and actually had the right answer. He said to me, I think it might be mist, but I just want someone else's opinion, as opposed to saying, I've caught a ghost, look at this. And I thought, you smart little kid, I can't wait till you're old enough to drag you out on an investigation. And you know what, right? He seems to have gone quiet about all the paranormal, which I don't know why, but it's just every once in a while you will bump into somebody who is that person, really, really a smart kid, really is. But, yeah.
I think it's true. And, I think one of the things that I've seen a lot in this industry, and I'm sure you have as well, is that there's some people that are so enthusiastic, and they can run into all sorts of cul-de-sacs. And, you're gonna realise, like I did, I'm sure years ago, and you'll come back out and you'll be wiser for it. Yeah. And you get other people that, if you like, don't like to learn. But then you like you just described, you get some people that are really, really good. And I think it's one of those things. I'm sure in this industry there are some really, really good people, and it's a shame that in some ways that we don't know more about these really good people, because if you think about the industry, so I think it's stagnated quite a lot in the last couple of years. Hasn't really gone anywhere. There's nothing new in terms of media on the television for anyone to follow or inspiration. And it needs the really good people to take the lead and to kind of make the progress again into what we're trying to investigate.
I think if you go back, we don't have people out there. I mean, there's some quality people out there, but they're not the ones you hear about. You always hear about the ones that want to make the money, that want to be in front of the camera, that want to be recognized. And I think that in the States, I'm talking for the States especially, it's setting this, it's taking the bar from here and just lowering it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing the exact opposite of what it should be doing when you have people like old Hans Holzer who'd investigate. And, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren, but they actually went in and thought with their minds, I mean, as much as they could, I mean, at the time, wherever they were at. But, you know, you don't get that anymore. Everything now is totally about the gadgets.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the newest piece of kit I can get?
Yeah.
I think the television has a lot to do with that for people like myself who tend to get feeble-minded after watching Ghost Adventures and going, I gotta have that for 2 weeks. Then lose $50 on it on eBay 2 weeks later because I hate it. You know, it's just like I'd rather be a crash test dummy for something, you know, and check it out. But I just think it's really the media right now in the States. They're putting out Canadian paranormal shows out of Canadian production companies, and it's really and they're doing like knockoffs of Paranormal Witness, and they're doing one I saw actually was low budget, but it was done in a way, aside from the psychics, I apologize psychics, but if you've seen this show, you know how I feel about you. But I love you to death, but at the same time, you know, I don't always agree with what you do. But what they do, they always had a home inspector with them, which I thought was actually brilliant, because, you know, that guy goes in first. He sits down with the family, with the person, whoever has an issue, and goes through what exactly, where, when, and then he goes around and checks everything. I mean, and then he could debunk 95%, 97% of what's actually going on in the house, minus, you know, the funhouse effect and everything else. Doors not being the doors, you know, the hinges, the old door handles, and don't connect. And I think that you know, it's a good show, and but the rest of the show. Go ahead.
No, to be honest, with some of the shows like that, the one thing that lets those shows down is the people who are in those shows. They would make the best building surveyors in the world. But look at Taps, for Christ's sake. Right. Okay, you're a group of plumbers who also investigate paranormal. Now, with their show, the one thing that let it down for me is every once in a while there'd be a cameraman, there'd be a camera crew, and there'll be Jason Hawes underneath the tap like that with a spanner going, oh, hang on, we've had a call. And it is literally like watching Batman. And you look at it, you think, could it be more corny, really? And you know what? The shows do ruin it for us, but you know, the shows may drag a lot of crap out of us. You know, make people make the paranormal feel sensationalized, which you'd expect, because obviously they've got to make a show out of it, got to earn money from it. But at the end of it, we all have a little bit of free thinking, and especially, Tim, you're the same as me, and I know, Kate, you are to a degree the same as me on this one, so all apologies on this, but you'll look at a piece of equipment and you'll think, why are they dragging that there? Why are they using that? Why bother? Why would you use that? And that's where the paranormal field is sort of taken over by people like me and you guys, where we look at it and say, yeah, okay, the TV shows are doing that, but at least they're there to show us what not to do, which I said last week. Sometimes it's good to watch what not to do and do it our own way. And I mean, Tim, you do events as a classic example. How many people on your events turn up like a SWAT team?
I think the thing is, I'd like to say is that, you know, when I'm going to go back, sort of like, I don't know, before I got into this industry, but I was always aware of it because I've always been fascinated by the subject. But my thought about it, the people in the industry, was that these guys are like, if you like, scientists, and they're really kind of got this clued up thing, and they're trying to gather evidence to try and bring to the scientific community, if you like, the paranormal, and it will be studied, and therefore we'll advance a little bit further in our understanding of things we don't currently understand. Now, now being inside the industry, it is unfortunately a large percentage of people that are those people that I thought it was full of is actually a very small percentage. Right?
Yeah.
There's not many people in the industry that are really kind of just trying to try new things and exploring new ground and stuff like that. What I tend to find is we do events, and the event is a bit like an open day at the fire station. We're going to go and we're going to do this experiment here, we'll do this one here, we'll do this one here, and you do lots of different things. And the idea is that a member of the public come along would love it because they get exposure to all the sorts of different things that people can do, and it's an enjoyable event, a little bit scary, very educational, and all the rest of it, and the things that you would want an event to deliver. However, when you go to somebody's house to investigate what they've said is going on there, completely different. But if you did the house investigation on the event, everyone would be bored. And it's one of those things, and I think what we don't have in this industry in a very large scale is actually looking for evidence, collecting evidence and data, which would help us progress in investigating the paranormal.
Yeah. Now, just a quick one for you as well. Ed Becker in the chat room. For Tim, I don't know if you know Ed Becker.
No, I don't think so.
Guy's an absolute legend. He's got 2 books out at the moment, True Haunting, and the rather aptly named True Haunting 2. And he, as an author goes, he's biblical. First televised exorcism in America through, I think it was ABC or one of those 3-letter names.
NBC.
Dude, every television company in America is ABC, NBC, CBC, FBC. They're all stupid names. But
yeah, we got to get it right though. We're on a good show, so.
Sorry, yeah. only the best. But anyway, what Ed said, right? Where Ed's concerned, I take what a lot of Ed says. He has experience behind it. He does not investigate the paranormal, and he thinks that we are biblically stupid for it. And he's always said that to us. And I agree with him. Okay. He's been on the wrong side of it, and he's always said to us, "Why the hell are you playing with fire?" And I understand why he says it, to be fair. But nevertheless, I always love when the questions appear. And what he's pointed out, if we've got any good evidential finds of photos or EVPs, and basically what he's trying to say is, where evidence is concerned, and this is my opinion of what he's trying to say, is where evidence is concerned, do we have any evidence that we can class as concrete proof? I'm going to answer first, and then I'll ask you guys the same question. Ed, my version of what evidence, how can I put it? If you get a piece of evidence, right, and it can be explained slightly, right, then a skeptic will explain it as that. It's like, I like what I've said about science. If it can be explained away a little tiny bit where the paranormal is concerned, it will be. But like where science is concerned, if they can prove it up to 95%, but have a little bit at the end, then it's proven. It's a proven scientific fact. So unfortunately, where the paranormal is concerned, it's not the same as anything which like science and anything like that. You can't actually hang off that. Sorry.
I was just gonna piggyback. I agree with you 100% on that. But the thing is, though, you think about it. For example, I'm going to give you a quick example, and we'll go back to Tim. I was watching this documentary on the Amazing Randy. All right,
yeah.
And they were in the Randy Challenge and Uri Geller and how he busted Uri Geller, and it's all magicians. And we have a close friend of ours too that was a stage magician for 360 days out of the year, and has written 2 paranormal books. Yeah. And he, it's interesting getting it, Tim, from his take, the paranormal, and his skepticism, but he's got a slight belief in it, and it's interesting. And back to Ed Becker, Ed's made it poignantly clear to me sometimes, why do you go looking for it? It found me. I would not go looking for it. And I find that to be interesting, because what we see as evidence, let's say we see a shadow moving 1,000 miles an hour behind that, on TV I'm saying, but if you catch it yourself, you're like, hey, that's evidence. But I'm just kind of lost, like, what is perfect evidence? And I don't want to bring up the skull experiment because we're going to talk about that in a couple weeks. But again, the skull experiment, they broke it down. One of the guys involved in it, or one of these other, it wasn't the skull experiment, it was another experiment done with telekinesis and psychokinesis. And one of the scientists was legally blind. And they considered that to be a scientific you know, a scientific way of debunking it or saying
Yeah.
it's real. So I don't know. I'm ranting, and I got
I think I can come in quite
nowhere
neatly.
to end. I got nowhere to end. I
Yeah, I
apologize.
can come in quite neatly on this, and it's that, and my belief currently, and it can change, is that I don't think the paranormal will ever be changed on one piece of evidence alone. Simply won't, because there will always, in today's day and age, we can do anything we want with video, audio, and all the rest of it. And you know, you might have some great EVPs, but there's always going to be some mitigating circumstances to, you know, but that could have been an outside noise, and it could have been this, and there is always that. However, when you think about how the justice system works, both here and in the States, you know, it's called beyond. All we have to do is prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and you have a jury system for that. Now, the way I kind of look at this and say, look, okay, if I told you my house was haunted. People have been on my events have heard this speech many times. If I told you my house is haunted, would you believe me? And you know, the answer would be no, because why would you? You've got no evidence to suggest or to back up my claim. But if I said, look, I tell you what, here's a picture of a ghost in my house, and my house is haunted. Do you believe me? You go, well, I don't know, not really. It's just a picture, and the guy's a bit mad anyway. Okay, well, I tell you what, here's a picture, and here's an EVP recording. So I've got two pieces of evidence. Would you believe, no, my house is haunted? And you go, well, no, not really, because it's not enough. Okay, I'll tell you what then. Here's a picture, here's an EVP recording, and here's a statement from people that were at a party one night, and they all saw the same thing at the same time, unconnected in different parts of the house, and they saw this thing.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, well, that's interesting, but I still don't believe you because, you know, I don't believe in ghosts. They go, okay, that's fine. Here's another piece of evidence. Here's some video footage of what happened, and here's some more witness statements, and you go for it. So when you've got a string of other pieces of evidence, you can put them all together in one thing. All of a sudden, people go, you know what? That guy's house might be haunted.
Yeah.
And it's, you start to get to beyond reasonable doubt, and this is how it works. And this is why I don't think one thing is ever going to work. And where you have if you have a case file studied over many years or a big time, where you can put all of these things together and make a compelling case, then you start to move closer to being able to prove, if you like, that there's something strange going on here, and this is a real thing.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead, Mo.
I was just going to say, do you know what? I'm glad you brought it up that way, because we're sort of stuck in the moment of this perpetual loop of people who are. It's always the people who are very sure of themselves who are the first people to shoot down any evidence. Now, I've got a few friends, and I won't mention names on here because I don't think it's fair on them, who would literally say, no matter what evidence I put forward, I could have the smoking gun, and he would say, right, okay, it could be light refraction. It could be dust, it could be this. You could have just photoshopped it. And then, you know, because there's answers to the questions that there may be genetic answers, he would use them. Because his theory behind it, which I give him credit for his theory. His theory is if it can be faked, then somebody's going to try and fake it, which, yeah, okay, I get you. But we're going to come to a conclusion that one day you're going to have a piece of evidence which is a perfect piece of evidence, and somebody is literally just going to go photoshopped or it's been changed.
But you need, I think, the perfect addition to a team is a total skeptic for those purposes.
Yes.
Because if the person has an IQ over 112, I think it's perfect because they could think outside the box. Where, let's say, I look at a lot of the paranormal, whether it's on video, whether it's on TV, and what Tim was trying to say about my house being haunted. It only comes down to personal experience. Is this person credible? And Tim, you're an ex-police officer, so you've had to deal with criminals who are professional liars. They know how to lie through their teeth and sell you the Brooklyn Bridge at the same time as you're reaching for your wallet. I mean, how you got to think about the person too. What are their interests? Like, I like to think people who have no interest in the paranormal, none, but will say, I had this kind of odd thing happen in my house, but I really don't believe, but I can't explain it. I'll give them more credibility in a sense than the person that shows me that picture of 2,000 orbs outside taking with a cell phone camera, who says they're spirits of dead people we gotta send back to the light. I mean, I look at that as total BS. I just think the fact is, I think it's the people that experience it, blows their mind, never wants to talk about it, hides the fact that, yeah, an apparition was standing right there and it disappeared. We've had that happen where I've worked, and the guy refused to talk about it. Finally, I heard about it, and he told me about it, and he goes, I won't tell anybody because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, you know?
Exactly. Do you think this is like the example that Mo gave earlier when he was talking about the guy buying stuff, you know, in the store, and it was like, I want to buy an EVP, and it was like, you know, I don't want to be looked at straight because I'm a weirdo because of this. You know, and it's just like that, and when people witness something they can't explain, it might be frightening to them, and then they're faced with this thing about having to talk about it, and the basis that everyone's going to think they're nuts.
Yeah.
It's
a bit. Do you know what? Right, I'm not going to lie to you. We're in that part of the paranormal at the moment where we're in that part of the paranormal, like it's a show. We're in that part of the field where it's slowly but surely getting us to a point where people are now realizing that the shows are sort of ruining us a little bit. People are holding no credibility to us. It's just it's forcing us into sort of a corner, unfortunately. But I don't know. I mean, if we keep going the way we're going, just like, how can I put it? Keep being persistent the way we are now, where we go out, we do what we need to do, sod the rest of the world and their bad opinions towards what we're doing. Let them go the way they're going. But I do have a question to ask you now. This is more towards the future of the paranormal as opposed to the way that, you know, the paranormal seems to be misconstrued at the moment. Is where technology is concerned and the paranormal, where do you think the future of the technology with the paranormal is going to be? Do you think it's going to fall like audio? Do you think it's going to move on to another piece of sensory equipment? Where would you see it going?
It's a really tough one. I think, to be honest, because there's so fewer, there's hardly anything available in the market that's actually been developed for this purpose. We're all using stuff which has been used for other purposes, you know, like security or for whatever thing else. And I think this is going to come down to where the best evidence comes from, isn't it? And people like to, you know, people want to collect the best evidence. You don't go fishing and you're shark fishing using a little hook, do you? You go fishing using a big hook because you want to catch a shark. So you go on a ghost investigation, you might be an expert in EVP. Therefore, most of your investigation will be geared towards audio recordings and stuff.
Oh, indeed.
What actually happens is a piece of footage goes across that you didn't get because you weren't videoed. So it's always a difficult one to kind of think, because I think as a paranormal investigator you have to be so open-minded to what's going on and what can you do. But what I think, I couldn't tell you in answer to your question what's going to be the next thing, but what I would say is that I just hope that people keep on experimenting with different things, different times, different techniques, because only through experimenting in doing different things in different ways will we actually then click onto the next opportunity to gather some evidence.
Oh, indeed. Now, you can actually see a trend with regards to the paranormal, and I'd like to say I'd watched it a lot heavier than I actually have, but it's been in the back of my mind. You've watched from like Ghost Adventures when that started in 2003. The first thing they've done was grab night vision cameras, the same as Most Haunted. They run around with night vision cameras. Then all of a sudden people are relying more on temperature, so then it becomes temperature sensors. Also, before that was EVP, and EVP seems to be the strong runner at the moment for what people like to use the most. And you can sort of see it disappear away from that now. People are grabbing, like, for instance, K2 meters, Connect. Go on. Sorry, go on.
To follow, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Mo. Just to follow what you were saying. Well, it's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. I apologize. I'm very polite about it, actually. We're usually bounce off each other really well. Just what Mo was saying. But the other workhorse you seem to see with a lot of groups that can afford it, and I still think it's not hindering anything from going forward, is the FLIR. Because even though that's used a lot of times by contract workers and stuff like that inside houses to see if there's any leaks or anything like that, I think, you got the EVP as the workhorse of the paranormal field right now. But I think the FLIR, but it's so damn expensive, to get a hold of a decent one. But I think that still should be in the arsenal, even when you're experimenting with other things. What's your take on that, guys? Be honest. Kill me if you want. I don't care. Go over.
Tim, kill him.
Okay, I think no. I think no. It's a good point, because it's one of those things that it's a very expensive piece of kit. We have one, and we've had it for 3 years now, something like that. And tell you, we've caught maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 4 images from 2 locations which are interesting. In the respect that you go, you know what, that is a human figure. that is there, and I cannot explain why this human figure in blue, which is colder than the environment, is there.
Yes.
And although you can get caught out because they will reflect from such shiny surfaces, and you can get things like that, but there is, for all the, I mean, to be honest, every event will take, I don't know, probably 100, 50, 200 pictures, stills with this thing. But there's 4 or 5 shots which are kind of beyond where I would say I could explain it away to nothing. So it does have some ground, and I think as technology becomes more affordable, then it's open to the wider market, and then the more people will use it, and there's a more opportunity for this thing to shine through.
Yeah, I again, this is more of a personal opinion with regards to the way equipment's going, the way thermal's going, and all that. I do think that you can see pieces of equipment falling away into the ether now. Now people still use REM pods. They don't use them that much anymore. It's like it's a piece of equipment that is now slowly but surely fading away. And don't get me wrong, it's sad to see, because I like people trying new pieces of equipment. I love it when someone says to me, I'm going to try this. This, just to give people an idea, I'm going to be reviewing an app for our YouTube channel over the course of the next week, and I'm going to review it open-minded. I'm also going to be reviewing use of a Ouija board, because there's one thing I've never done, right? I have avoided the Ouija board like a plague. I have literally avoided, I've walked round the things. I've left investigations because people have been using them, because I've always been stigmatized by it and thought, oh, shut up, kid. I've always been very, what's it called? I've always been cautious of them, because I don't like the fact that, you can't see what's on the other side of it, so why should you deal with it? And it was only last week we were interviewing Robert Murch, and he came forward and said, well, what's the difference between that and investigating in general? And when you sort of sit there and go, bit of a stupid thing for me to do. And I realised then that maybe using something new, using something different, and just opening your eyes to other pieces of equipment, it cannot hurt. And I just wish that people would wear pieces of equipment and stop being so cloak and dagger about it. And if you're going to use a piece of equipment, do it. If it's not going to work for you or whatever, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the Ouija's. The Ouija thing is very stigmatized, if that's the word, through time, mainly from the media and Hollywood and all the rest of it. Everyone thinks Ouija is really bad, it's the work of the devil and all the rest of it. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's just a tool in the toolbox. But what I would say is that, what does it really give you? What solid evidence does this really provide? Because it is 40% what happened and 60% skepticism can write it off by saying, someone pushed it. How can you take any of that as actually data or evidence? You can't. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great and it's very interesting when it's interesting. Other than that, it's gibberish. But when it is interesting, it's great. But even then, it's still not really evidence. And that's the problem with the Ouija board.
But Tim, don't you carry the Ouija table at your store?
I do. I sell a range of Ouija boards because it's just my opinion. Some people love them. I know a couple of investigators that only have a Ouija boards and that's all they use. People collect Ouija boards, and the guy that you had on, I'm sure he's got a collection of Ouija boards too. And I think it's a great product. It's a great product.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. However, if we're going to try and prove the paranormal, it's going to take an awful lot to do it with an Ouija board.
Yeah. You just said that the guy we had on might have had a bit of a collection on Ouija boards. I think he's got the biggest collection in the US, and he was creative consultant for the Ouija board movie, by the way. He's like the biggest collector there is.
Wow. He said he had 2,000, wasn't that, Mo?
Yeah,
he said he had 2,000 dating back from the 1890s, I guess, towards the end of the Victorian era. Yeah. And stuff like that. Yeah, he's epic. This guy is purely epic. He's awesome. But
no, go on. One of his boards, I pulled him on one of his boards had the swastika on the board, and it turned out that it wasn't a swastika. I'd got it wrong by angle or something like that. But it's mad when you see. I mean, I find it fascinating that people. I mean, I've avoided the board like a plague, and you know what? Right? It's bigoted by me. I shouldn't have done it. Of all the pieces of equipment I've used in the past, right? One of our guys has got I think it's called the Hammer Bible. This is the Satanic Bible. One of our team members, he had the Satanic Bible, and he kept saying, "Do you want to bring it out?" I'm like, "No, that doesn't come with us." And then we'll go and investigate it. We investigated the place where a Satanist was buried, and we were treating it literally like it was the gates of hell. We were really naive about it. To be fair, we were like, "Well, a Satanist is buried there, so no doubt it's evil. That's it. It's going to be evil." And you know what? We didn't catch anything. And it was more foolish when we walked away that we kind of realised that maybe we were looking at the wrong way. And do you know what? I'm opening my eyes from here on out. But I'm going to move swiftly on from the conversation of Ouija boards and all crazy other stuff, and I'm going to move back onto what you've got going with the store.
Okay, the Ghost Store is. I would say that if I could say, I've got some great products, and they're products that really excite me. And as an investigator that's been going for a long time now, and I would say that if I get excited about a product, then for me the product is good. And all I have to do is all I want to do is try to, if you like, inspire people to also like these products. And when I find a new product, I get really excited about it, and I sort of talk about this product. And believe me, I'm not trying to sell it to anybody. I'm just excited about a product, and I want people to be excited. Look at this product. If you suddenly had something awesome that you thought was really cool, the first thing you do is you show someone else, look how cool this is. And I'm just like that. I'm one of these people that loves paranormal. I love gadgets and equipment and all the rest of it. And when I see new things, I get really, really into it. And so the Ghost Store for me is a great opportunity. So I almost like to look, how cool are these things? So I really love this, and stuff. And I'm really lucky that I've managed to get hold of some really cool things. I think some really cool things. This is almost like my personal collection of things that are cool in the paranormal world. And I try to cover it in a place that, of all the aspects that people would need. I stock one camera. It's a Nikon S3300, and I stock that camera because it's great. It's affordable. It's bloody awesome, and it takes good results.
What camera is it?
Sorry.
What camera was it? Sorry.
It's the Nikon S3300, so 3300.
Got it. Yeah. And
I think it's awesome. It's a great camera. It's been converted to full spectrum, and I'm just really blown away with how cool this camera is. So I've stocked them. My Ouija board collection. The whole point of a Ouija board is it's big enough for people to use. It's smooth and it's slick, and the planchette can move easily around it, and they're cool. They glow in the dark. And it's just all those things that you need. So if you like, my Ghost Store is full of things that I think are cool in the investigation world. Yeah. And I've tried to cover a wider base of things. So there's people that particularly like electronics. There's people that particularly like the traditional stuff. And you don't see much traditional stuff out. And I've got a few more things coming through, like a seance kit. People doing seances. It's great. And things like scrying. Who the hell does scrying? Scrying is bloody awesome. Nostradamus did scrying. And these things are available, and I want them all in one place for people to buy. You can tell how passionate and enthusiastic about these subjects.
Just one thing. I brought this up on the screen, right? I don't know if you can see which one it is.
Yeah, the white twigs.
I absolutely love the way that looks. That's really nice. Do you know what? I'm in love with it. I'm going to buy one.
You know what? That Ouija board.
Buy a Ouija board. Hey, buy one of Tim. Tim, you did send me something actually that I don't know if you've put it out yet, and I'm not going to say. It's the trigger object you asked me about. That was brilliant, dude. I was blown.
Yeah, it's there. Victorian coin trigger object. There it is. It's on the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh my god.
That was epic. That was brilliant.
That is awesome. That board is great. And I think, I use those. They are bloody awesome. And I know I'm kind of self-advertising here. I don't want to sound as cheesy as that. But these products excite me. This is genuine 1,800 and whatever, 1,900 coins. Queen Victoria.
Can I be an absolute smart ass with regard to this? And I'm going to give this to you as credit, right? Is you... And don't get me wrong, you just said there also being like a shameless plug and all that. Think about this, right? You've got a board there with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Victoria. Thanks for helping me with that. I can't count. I was worried. I was only playing 10-pin bowling a couple of days ago as well, and I still can't count to 10. But you know what, right? That board, right? For people who are aware, that board, it's not as if you've literally, stuck some to the board. It looks really good. I love the way it looks. But what I'm going to point out to people, if I can pull away from it, right? It's $14.99. For Christ's sake, it's $14.99. That's a sign. To be fair, you could have threw an £80 sticker on that, and somebody would have still came along and bought it. But that's a decent. That's a good way of doing it. I like that. It works for me.
It's the traditional thing. I love the traditional stuff. I love the electronics, don't get me wrong, but I love the traditional stuff. And I think these things, you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't be involved in people's investigations today. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us investigate for fun. You know, it's not all about science. It's for fun. And we enjoy it, and we want to get interested and thrilled from it. And this is the thing, the trigger board, you can leave it under a camera and see if anything happens. But, you know, people painstakingly draw around things, and then they're not sure if they put the coin in the right time and all that. But the trigger board is so easy to use. You put it down, it's got Victorian coins, and coins are such a great trigger object. Because you know what? If you're walking down the street or you're in the thing, and you see some coins laying about, the first thing you do is you look at it, and then you might touch it, pick it out. Who does this belong to? And it's one of those objects, you know. It invites everybody to touch. And of course, it's Victorian, so therefore, a lot of the ghosts of the UK are Victorian. So it homes in. It's relevant to the things that we talk about.
Yeah, there's the camera, by the way, for the people that Tim was talking to people who are watching. Sorry, this is the camera that Tim was talking about before.
Oh, nice.
The Coolpix. I know the Nikon Coolpix. We used to sell the Coolpix range where I work, and do you know what? Right, as a camera goes, the battery life on them is phenomenal.
You know what? It's funny you said battery life. You know, Mo, it's like I had a conversation today because I was thinking, you know, these things are getting hard to find, and in terms of like a quality to get done, and finding them in full spec is even harder. But having with someone, I thought, well, do I need to change model? I don't really want to do that. And I could go down to there's another model available, Nikon, but it's battery powered. You know what? I have a problem with that because this one is better. It's got the infralithium chargeable battery, which lasts for blooming ages. Or you go to the lower model, which I don't sell. You have to put double A's in it, and they last, I don't know, 120 pictures or something. And I don't want to sell things that are not. I don't like that. I want quality products, and this is why I want to sell quality products through my ghost store. And this is why there's only one camera there rather than 16 cameras, if you like. And I like this camera. I think it's brilliant.
But you back, Tim. What I like how you run your shop. And as you're talking now, you back that product with enthusiasm. I could get on a few other ghost sites out of the U.S., and I'm not going to mention any by name, that it's just mass product. I mean, I'm looking at it, I go, I can get this on eBay for 90% cheaper than what you're selling it here, almost new. You know, I mean, you show enthusiasm about the store, enthusiasm about what you sell. You back your product. While a lot of these other stores, you know, in America, it's become the point where let's rip the consumer off. And not in the sense of product. I'm talking about the quality of things being used, whether it's cameras, whether it's this, whether it's that. I mean, they're going to use the cheapest camera possible. I'm surprised they're not showing full spectrum Vivitars right now, which I can make by breaking one thing and turn it back in. I got the cheapest full spectrum camera on the market. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I could put 13 cameras there tomorrow, full spectrum. But what's the point? Because at the end of the day, people come into my store. My customers are investigators. You know, they're like me. They want quality products. I don't want to sell them a load of rubbish because if I sell a rubbish product, then my store becomes rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, any successful retail model is based on the quality product that they sell. Marks and Spencer's over here, we assume are a quality brand. It's because they sell quality products. Apple, quality brand, like it or loathe it, quality brand, quality products. Simple as that. And I've always been along the lines of, you know, I'm not going to waste my time with crap because crap is crap. I don't like crap, and neither does anyone else. And if you buy crap, you regret it. You know, buy cheap, buy twice, and it's a nightmare. I like to buy quality products and have quality products, and therefore I think everybody does. And I want my store to have quality products and be somewhere that someone can go knowing that product is there because I think it's a quality product.
No, do you know what? I totally agree. We had this conversation just before the show for people who are not privy to this conversation, being everybody other than Kurt, right? We had this conversation with regards to CCTV. Sometimes there's a right way to do things, and sometimes there's a cheap and easy way to do things. And Tim, you are the same as me. No matter, we're both pretty much cut from the same cloth. Is the cheap way is never always the right way. No. People will go out, and I mean, you just said there about Vivitar cameras. I've modified all kinds of cameras in the past. Two of my proper cameras I've modified to full spectrum, and one of them I counted 35 screws through the camera. Now, I used to do mobile phone repairs, so ripping something apart, not a problem. And I don't mind putting a pair of headphones on and ripping something to pieces. Not everybody's got the capabilities of doing that, but if you're out in the market to buy let's say for saying, a full spectrum camera, I can Google right now, and you know what, I'm semi-tempted to do it, is Google full spectrum camera, and I can guarantee you I will find the Vivitar camera, which is a fixed focus, fixed zoom camera, for the same price as what you're selling that for.
Yeah, Perspex lens is, the quality cameras will have glass lens. The cheaper cameras have Perspex lens, which is never really as good. And it's just one of those things, and they'll run on batteries, they'll discharge, and there's, whilst it might cost you 50 quid, you could have just put another 20 quid to it and actually had a decent product, is my view anyway.
Can I be an absolute smart aleck? Actually, you know what, I'm not even going to ask, I'm going to do it, right, just because I can. Give me a few seconds on this, right, and I'll make you feel a little bit warm and fuzzy, okay?
Go on then.
Explain the logic behind this. There you go. Okay, look at that, for instance.
Okay, my view of this is that it looks great on the picture. You'll get it home, and the first thing that will strike you is it's smaller than you think. The next thing is that it's going to be plasticky. Then you're going to look at the lens, and you'll notice it's just it's a fixed focus lens, probably about the size of a pinhead. That little thing there, the size of a pinhead. So the light coming through is not going to be great. The viewfinder on the back is not the picture it's referred. That picture's been put on the viewfinder for you to think.
Look at that. Just so you're aware that's an orb there, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering about that right there. I was wondering about that.
That's someone's nan.
And I think I'd like to say that this camera is bottom end of the full spectrum opportunity. But the fact that it's at 70 quid is a shame, because that sort of camera should be available to people in the marketplace who are getting involved. They want to try full spectrum for themselves. That camera should be 25 quid.
It'd be good for a goodie bag, if you create your own goodie bag for beginners.
Oh my God, get on that then. There's an embarrassing one for the company who's selling this. The camera you've got, they're doing for £105, and it makes you wonder why would you buy any of the cheaper cameras? I don't understand the logic. And you look at some of these and you think, there you go, £94 there for that camera, because it comes with a free 48 LED invisible beam. People are paying this money.
Oh, I tell you, let me go back to what you're saying, Mo. Keep where you're at with the infrared. Bell Howell, I use Sony. I get on eBay and I find this old Sony night shots, and I pay a little bit more, but you're getting a lot more quality, because I was using a Bell Howell and a Sony night shot with phantom lights or whatever lights, IR light you have. And I got Bell Howell's absolute shit, pardon my French, versus, let's say, the old Sony has it. The old Sony is pure quality versus what they're throwing out there for so much money right now. It blows my mind.
You've mentioned it. The old Sony, we call them the old Sonys because it's only the old Sony cameras. Sony stopped putting in night shot on their cameras 6 or 7 years ago now, but maybe longer. And the very nature that there's still loads of them about tells you how good they were. There's loads of them about. And I was even thinking the other day, do I need to go find some Sonys? These will be used second-hand products, of course, but people want solutions, and if they can't find it, they end up with a Vivitar for 70 quid, and that camera isn't worth it. And I think, if I was to stock old Sonys, I would do them at the right price, and people could then use something which is good.
You know what? Sony night shots, there's two types of night shot. There's the night shot and the night shot plus. People are going out there at the moment and they're getting caught up by buying the Sony Night Shot Plus. The bad part of the Night Shot Plus is it shows heavy motion blur. But just before we go any further, I just want to show you something. This is what annoys me, and this is why I like what you do. Look at this, right? It's a pair of glasses, 720p spy, DV, DVR, video, audio recorders, sunglasses, blah, 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 blah. £8.60, okay? £80.
Okay.
So £80.
What the hell?
Go back to that one again, please, Mo. The first one, 720. Okay, go back. The other one, old man has to see this again. So, £80, as seen on TV, you love it. So therefore, you're saying $14.99, American. And that's the same one as in Ghost Hunter.
Yeah, but hang on, we've missed something. Go back to the eBay. The other one, it's got free post and packet.
Hang on. As opposed to what? Let's see how much these charge. 29. I'll pay the 29 pence.
Yeah.
I'll pay that. Well, I'm sorry, right? And for people out there, right? This is me being an absolute swine, right? what Tim does is right. And I'm not just saying that because I have any secret endorsement with Tim, because I don't. No offense, Tim, I've got no endorsement with you whatsoever. We bring you on because we like you, right? We like what you do. It's not as if after this show you're going to, wire transfer money into my account. It doesn't work like that. I like to just make sure.
As well, because I don't have money to transfer over.
That sounds kind of familiar. But we don't give out an endorsement for an item unless it's actually really worth endorsing. And when you see people on eBay doing that crap, and you think, okay, they're buying a pair of glasses for $8, right? They're doing a simple modification and selling them for $80. I can tell you now that, Tim, where those cameras are concerned, you are probably earning next to nothing on those cameras, but all you're doing, in my eyes, paranormal side of things, you're doing the right thing. You're not trying to hoard a pile of money off it. You're just trying to get people what they want. And you know what? You are in the paranormal for a reason. You have a passion for it, and you'd have to be on some form of recreational drug not to use your services as a store.
I think I just have a passion for paranormal. I think, I've been in the electronics industry for years and years, and I know what things are worth, and I know what good products are, and all the rest of it. This is why it breaks my heart to see a Vivitar up at 70 quid, because that camera is don't get me wrong, it should be available for people to buy, but not for £70. It's too much.
No, not at all. I mean, it's people prey on other people. That's society. We are hunter or hunted. It's just the way it is. There's a fine line. I'm not going to lie to you. There is a fine line, but there's only a few people on this planet, right, in my eyes, who are in the paranormal for the right reasons. A lot of people are actually in there for the wrong reasons. Quite a lot are in there for really wrong reasons. They just want a attention grab. And then you got guys like, as I said, like what you just said there about the Vivitar cameras. It should be accessible, but sadly there are new starters out there, people who are new to the paranormal field. Me and Kate have known a few people in the past who've said to us, "We're new to the paranormal field. This is our budget. What's the best we can do?" And I'll give them advice and say, "Do this and do that. If I was in your boots, that's what I would do." And then they'll go on eBay, and then they'll shop on eBay, and I feel so bad for them, because you just know somebody in Hong Kong or somebody somewhere in the world going, "I've just sold them something really, really useless."
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
There's a lot of that.
Sadly.
Wish.com. Go on Wish.com. You can get, that as seen on TV one for like $5 American, and you're waiting 2 months to get it, but you get it, and it's just a piece of crap, because you saw it on Ghost Hunters. Jason Hawes was trying to be cool, trying to break out, the newest piece of kit, and next thing you know, everybody's buying that same thing going, how do I use it? And it's just got to the point where, I don't know, man, it's just like you stand behind your, bottom line, dude, you stand behind your product, and since Mo and you are tech guys, I mean, what people don't know is at the beginning of the show, we're on probably about 45 minutes to an hour beforehand, doing a lot of talking about this, that, BSing around. But I get interested in it because I get pulled into something. I'm very weak in on the tech side. Yeah. So I usually send things over to Mo. What's your take? Yes or no? Should I buy it or should I buy it? He goes, save your effing money. And I'm like, okay, I won't buy it.
Why do you need more GoPros than GoPro?
Dude, I have 3 GoPros and 1 fake GoPro, which the sound is absolutely horrible, but I do want to turn it into a full spectrum camera, but I'll end up breaking it and wasting $50, not 50 pounds. But so I like GoPro. I got a high-end GoPro and 2 GoPro Heroes. I'm not gonna mess with. I just like to use them. They're easy to use when you're climbing outside. You're going in somewhere. You don't have to worry about a special shot. You could just hook it up to your computer, pick and choose what you want to use. Done. Now with my Sony, the Sony Night Shot I used to use. I still have it. I got another one too. But the thing about it is I had to buy extended batteries now for it that hold like 189 minutes, because every 45 minutes my battery's drained. And everybody's like, oh, but that's so paranormal. It's not paranormal. It's the fact I'm using shoddy batteries on an old Sony. I mean, let's be honest about it. Drainage of batteries, guys, and this is not going to surprise some people, is not always paranormal. Ask Zach Bagans. Oh, wait, wrong person. I'm just being facetious right there with the bad joke.
Oh, indeed. Sorry, go on.
No, it's all you, dude.
Right, all I was going to say there is, are you the same Tim, where me and Kate are concerned, are you, I'm going to use the saying now, are you an equipment whore? Do you go and buy piles of equipment that is unnecessary? And what's the worst thing you've ever bought in the paranormal? Come on, do it.
You have to answer it because I'll answer it.
I'll answer it too.
The answer is yes, of course. Many unnecessary products I've had for the P.I.G.S team. You know, and the fact is no one uses them because what the hell is this we've got here? The worst products. There's so many to choose from. The worst products never get through. The only products that actually give us something actually get through to be used in the investigation anyway. But I'm always looking for something interesting and what have you. You know what? Let me think, and I'm going to come back, and I hope I'm going to share something with you which will make you laugh, which is a nightmare product.
Okay.
That was a terrible cop out, but nevertheless, I'm going to answer.
Tim, you're held to that. You're held to that question, buddy.
You've got till 11:30.
I've had to answer for being I'm an equipment whore that doesn't use protected sex. That's how bad I am when it comes to becoming an equipment whore. I see it, I want to test it, I piss away all my bank account because it's costing me £300-400, and then I'm going, I hate this thing. It's lame. I don't need it. It doesn't work. It's just BS. How am I going to sit there and get through to it when I'm alive, let alone when I'm dead? No go. Now that I'm trying to sell it on eBay, I'm taking a $50 to $60 hit on it, and I'm free shipping it. And then I'm sitting there scratching my head, and I'm getting abused by Mo in my left ear. He's like the devil. Or not, he's the angel, but I got this devil on this side that says, blow your money on cheap crap. You know, that you see on TV because you just want to see how it works. And I've been talked out of many of bad deals thanks to Mo, and I am giving Mo a lot of credit for this.
You are the worst.
I'm the worst, but I've gotten better. I've streamlined the cameras and more audio. I'm kind of jumping on this side of the fence now with Mo because I finally got through my thick skull that the ovulus doesn't pick up spirits. It just spits out words that sound familiar to where you're at. You know what I'm talking about? And it just gotten to the point where I'm done. I'm even done with some of my EM pumps too because that. But what I did buy, and you guys are gonna think I'm a freaking idiot for this. But I stole this idea, but I'm not gonna say it because when I get called an idiot, I don't want to offend anybody else. That is the what's that game? You press the button and the light turns on. It's a memory game. I forget what it's called.
Simon Says.
Simon. Yeah, I bought a mini one. I go, you know, thinking outside the Mo. I know you're gonna slap me through the screen on this one. And Mo's shaking his head, and I'm getting abused in the chat room, I'm sure. But you know what? I do stuff like this. So, but I bought it for like $6. I got it on Amazon. I go, you know, I'm gonna give this a try. But then I'm thinking about how the hell is something gonna push down a button? And now I'm going, I'm stuck with it, but I still want to give it a shot. You know, not necessarily the fact that there could be somebody, if there was an afterlife or something like that on the other side that's a lot more brilliant than I am, that goes past 3 colors, and I'm stuck on color number 2. But I am a full-on whore when it comes to that. Mo can attest to it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've got to stop you. I really am sorry for interrupting you. I bought this memory game, and I forgot what it was called. Are you mental? Is something broken in your head? Have you really just said that? You said it, didn't you? No, you've done it. I bought this memory game, and I forgot what it was. Oh, you genius.
Yeah. This happens to me, Tim.
Sorry, just
Tim, this happens. I need him. I tell you, he reminds me of things. I'll say it. I'll forget I say it. And then I'm like, oh, man, I can't believe I just said that.
You are a verbal shotgun. I swear to God, right? I'm going to call you a verbal shotgun. You are. I'll think about the trigger. Bang! Too late. I've already done it. No, it's too late. It's already happened.
So Tim, enough about my miscomment.
No. I'll get mine out the way, and I'll give him time to think. Right. The most embarrassing piece of paranormal I bought was actually not something for the paranormal. I bought business cards. I always remember getting business cards because I thought, you know, every paranormal team needs business cards because obviously we're just going to hand them out to parties. And I got them, and I'm looking at the card. I'm like, I was really impressed. I'm like, this is when you know you're a paranormal investigator. You've got a business card, and it had a massive spelling mistake on it. And I looked at it and I thought,
what'd you misspell?
I can't even remember what it was. I don't even know it was a name. It was either a name or an email address, and I looked at it and I thought,
But
Man,
the
I'll
thought,
tell you what. You know what that reminds me of? One thing. It reminds when we changed 2 years ago. Now we changed from Paranormal Investigation Group Sussex to Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Service, right? Which was great, and it kind of made sense because of what we do. It was closer to matching the name and stuff like that. So we did this kind of launch. We had the whole website rebranded, and the head banner. Every website's got a head banner, and I saw it, and it was about 2 days after launch. I was looking around, and I thought, you know what? We've misspelt the word intelligence.
That's brilliant. That's impressive as hell.
that's awesome.
That's sadly where I am at life at the moment. I spell everything terrible. I have to spell check stuff that on my phone. Even my phone has got to a point now of correcting me. It's like, Mo, stop it. Come on, you've got to learn. But no, I mean, so you're going to go as far as saying that's the embarrassing thing you've done with regards to paranormal?
No, I think I've got, it's not, there's loads of products. There's loads of products.
Give us the one that's going to give us the biggest laugh. That's what we're here for right now. The biggest laugh.
Yeah,
Tim, you can do it. Everybody does it.
One thing that springs to mind. It comes to mind because I've got it on my desk in front of me, and we for so long wanted to do the point of view camera. So you wear a camera, and it's a point of view camera, and you see all that sort of stuff. And we wanted to not just wear it ourselves. We wanted to be able to give it to people that came on events to wear, so we could see when we set them off on lone vigils and stuff like that what was going on, which is great. And we came up with this device here, which is a POV camera. It's actually a sports cam.
Oh yeah.
A little.
No, okay. Sony.
Which is cool. No, I don't know what brand it is. It doesn't have a brand, but it was good. It served the purpose. Converted to full spectrum, and you think this is cool. It's a little camera. You can wear this camera, but it's round. Where can you wear this camera? Right.
Yeah.
So the next thing I had to do is I went and bought a hard hat. These big like yellow or blue hard hat, and you can mount this camera on the side. So it's still cool, right? It's still cool. But the thing is, infrared, as you know, infrared and full spectrum needs an illuminator. So the next thing you got this camera here, this hard hat, this camera, and a big illuminator here, which is cool. You get caught on the beams and stuff. And I've got lots of footage of people using this camera, which is great. But the only thing I would say is that we were so into these cameras, but the audio is absolutely shocking. I don't know why, it's just really bad. And I wanted to buy these products, and I wanted to have them available for people to buy. But I've got a couple hanging around that we'll use them at events because for our group and stuff.
Yeah.
But this camera is possibly the worst camera I think I've ever experienced on the paranormal. And the audio is so bad.
Oh yeah, I've got one not much similar, right? And the only time I've ever used it, right, is I strapped it to the outside of the car. It looks like the bullet cams. I strapped it to the outside of the car, right, to record some footage going to where we were going, and I had to catch it when we were doing over 20 miles an hour, and I seen it sort of move back on its and I went, no, grabbed it out the window. So I'm not letting it fall down the road, but I've got no use for it. But no, I do see what you mean. Of all the cameras that we've got as a group, and the same as you, of all the cameras you do have, you'll probably find that you will slowly but surely start to weed them out and only use certain ones. You fall victim to. You fall a creature of habit into using the certain pieces of equipment. Am I right?
Yeah, you do. I think we all make mistakes, and we all waste hundreds of pounds on things that don't work, aren't suitable. But we had the enthusiasm to buy it in the first place, and I think this is where it's so important. If you're starting out in the paranormal world, you go find somebody that's been in it for a while and ask them, because they will have already made those mistakes and spent that money, and you could save yourself a fortune by just asking them for their advice on some pieces of kit and what have you.
But both you guys, this is to both you guys. You guys are both tech guys, so this is perfect for me. Have you ever got online and just saw a piece of kit that really didn't have anything to do with the paranormal field and thought, I could use that? Should I buy that? Do you ever get that itch from being tech guys? I mean, just
I get that.
Think of the different ways you could use it, thinking outside the box, like my Simon Says thing. I'm kind of defending myself still from Mo on that. I'm surprised I didn't get a slap from overseas yet. But I mean, you get that itch. But from you guys though, who know the product, who have an idea of the product, do you find it easier just to step back and say, listen, I got enough kit, I can supply 2.5 teams. Have you gotten to that point, or is it always something else that kind of drives you to buy something new? I was just curious from the tech side, from both you guys as the tech side of it.
I think we probably. Well, I think important to you, Mo, as well. Like me, I imagine you get quite when something new comes onto the market. I get quite excited about the opportunities that it might have, that you could use this product for different things or a different way and all that. Yeah, it's meant to do this, but you could use it this way. And I think that I see those things all the time. You must see those as well, Mo. I'm sure.
Oh, do you know what? I'm Kurt digging at me, I reckon. Have I bought pieces of equipment that I just wanted? Yeah, he knows. Yes, I have. I've got a quadcopter that I've never used on investigation in my life that I wanted to use for filming.
I just found the law in the United States, speaking to your quadcopter, by law in the United States now, you're only allowed to fly it up to 400 feet.
Yeah,
you have to be 5 miles from an airport, because there was almost an incident recently with somebody had a drone and they were flying it around the plane or something, and they're still hunting down. So I was just curious. No, but Mo does that. But Mo knows how to. I give Mo credit in the sense too, being a tech guy, he knows how to fix broken stuff. I throw broken stuff against the back wall, and then I rebuy it again, break it again, and it becomes and people think I'm a little slow in the head. So thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. But no, I'm kidding with you, man. But no, seriously, I mean, you guys are tech guys, so you can see the possibility of things that I couldn't see. Go ahead, Mo.
I was about to say, no, I totally agree, and I'm assuming you're the same as me, Tim. You'll go past something in a shop, and you'll think, I could use that. And it could be something as simple as a shed alarm, a PIR shed alarm. You think, I could use that. I do it all the time. I look at something because of the components in it, as opposed to what it is. I was looking at Theremin's handheld, like the Project Theremin educational kit, because they rely on the fact that the closer your hand gets, the higher the frequency goes.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at things like that as of late, and again, it's something that me as a geek, I fall victim to all the time. I don't know if you're the same though.
No, I do, absolutely, just as bad. And I'm listening to you talking about the pheromone and thinking, that's a great idea. I need to go looking for one of those. Yeah. We could get those. But you know what? It's just why not? Because we spoke earlier about trying new things, and if you don't try new things, you never discover new things. And, and I'm always trying and find new things. And I throw a lot of kit in, not a bin. I don't even know where it goes. It doesn't go on my ghost store. It goes. It's probably in a big box somewhere under the bed. Yeah. But it's like I'm forever trying to find new kit and new things, because I become excited about it, like you guys do. And I think it's experimenting with different things, and then you find it doesn't quite work, or it's not particularly successful, and then and as a result, you get bored of setting that experiment, so it goes under the bed and it doesn't come out again. And I think. But it's the opportunity. You've got to give as much opportunity to the paranormal world as you can to get a result.
Okay. Tim, we're getting to the point now in the show. We got about 10 minutes left, 11 minutes left. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the idea of the Ghost Ark. And I want to tell everybody watching this or will be watching this in the future that Tim scored a nice little contract with the fellas out of Italy for Ghost Ark. If you don't know it, go to www.ghostark.com and type in your email. They'll send you updates and everything. It's a great piece of kit. And Tim is lucky enough to score the UK contract plus surrounding islands. So he's going to be a busy guy. I think it's going to be busy once that's coming out. But is there a tentative, and I say tentative, release date on it for you?
Yeah, I'm expecting to see the Ghost Ark arrive in the Ghost Store available for UK customers, hopefully October. Now, it's not going to be early October. I'm kind of under the understanding it's going to be mid-October. But what I will tell you, I will have a limited quantity to start with, because to make all of these Ghost Arks and get them out to the suppliers, of course, they're investing an awful lot of money, but they haven't had any sales in the product. So the initial supply will be limited, and I will have some mid-October. And it's going to be one of those things. So, but I do believe this product is absolutely phenomenal. It's an all-in-one. It's got so many things going for it. The build quality is superb from what I've seen. Don't get me wrong, I haven't touched it, but the build quality from what I've seen, I have even seen the insides of how this thing's built. And I can tell you now, this is not a piece of trash. This is a quality product, and it's
Yeah.
on the market to the paranormal world. It's been designed for the paranormal world to use by a very experienced investigator of some 30 years. He knows what he's talking about, and he's designed his product. And you only have to look at the spec of things like, it's just the detail. The microphone, for example, can go down to 6 hertz, and that is absolutely incredible. You cannot find that anywhere, and it's in a paranormal, specifically designed for the paranormal world. This product is going to be massive. And yeah, you know what? I cannot believe we've got the UK dealership on this product. Well, I can believe it because of the quality that I believe in. And this product matches that quality, and I'm so proud to be able to offer this to our customers.
There's one thing I know a lot with regards to the Ghost Ark, because we've interviewed the guys before. We've interviewed Alessandro and Massimo in the past, and we've gone through it with them, from everything from the board build up to the batteries they're going to use. And just to give people an idea, for people who are new to the show, and one thing that they've done is Massimo's son, Giovanni, I think his name is. Gianni Rossi. Gianni Maria Rossi. What he done was, he's a DJ as a hobby, and he looked at a set of CDJs that he uses for his DJing, and he noticed that the lights built into the CDJ were not as dazzling as some of the lights they fit to, like Mel meters, K2 meters, REM pods. All those lights are big dazzling lights, and he thought, well, that's not good, because a bright light in a dark environment is not good for you. So the first thing he done when it came to designing the Ghost Ark was he picked lights which are not going to blind you, but would still be able to be seen. And you know what? Just that little bit of attention to detail, for me, that and the microphones which we talked about earlier, running at 6 hertz, that type of outside of the box thinking built Apple. That's the type of outside the box, like pushing the boundaries a little bit. That type of, what's the word? That type of forward thinking, which is really, really doing them a lot of favours at the moment. They're doing really, really bleeding well with it. I'm over the moon to see it's coming. And you know what? I'm over the moon that you've got it, because, as I said before, you're a reputable dealer. You're somebody who you're in for the right reason. So why not? Why should you? Of all the people on the planet, I don't know why you shouldn't have it. I think it's brilliant.
This product is phenomenal. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And when I was talking to them about what my Ghost Store had to offer, I was telling them about things like, I don't sell things on eBay because I think it discredits the brand. I don't.
Yes.
I sell things at a price which is, I think, reasonable for the product, because I know about electronics. When it comes to, and even talking about packaging, I was saying, look, every single thing I send out comes in a brand new box. I personally pack everything. I spend a fortune on packaging, cardboard boxes, and the packing chips that go on. These are new things. These are not, and even the tape. The tape for me has to be straight on the box, and everything, every little detail, because people will spend money and they want a product, and that doesn't, not just the product, it's the bloody way it gets delivered as well. And I always send it the Royal Mail recorded delivery, because I think that's the best postal service, and it's just about those things. And I had to go into all of this detail in every infinite part to talk to them about why I felt that we would do a good job with the Ghost Ark. And I think it's through that care and attention to detail which kind of lived up to where they've come from a bit with the Ghost Ark design and stuff. It kind of matched in.
I like the idea about the Ghost Ark being an American, that finally something just quality is coming out of Europe. I mean, because it's just to the point now, everything's so American. Yeah. We're getting the same thing, but in a different form. It's just added, let's say, the spirit box. Now they got the one together where it's working at different frequencies. Yeah. Oh my God, shoot me. Just shoot me with that.
If it makes you feel any better, a lot of good things come out of Europe. Me and Tim, we're from Europe. I mean, there's a lot of crap in America. You, for instance, that's just the way, wear it as a badge. But yeah, as I said, I do agree with you. The fact that Italians have made it, that Italians are renowned for making decent Ferraris, Lamborghinis. I mean, if you can put that much effort into a car and that much finesse, and you got these guys coming along, and again, they've done it right. And you know what? Again, Tim, I can't wait for the second you get your hands on one of them. I really can't, because I just know for a fact it's going to be one for me, one for sale. I know, and you're going to do it.
I'm going to have one myself, of course. You know what? But one of these things that I'm very, when it comes into my ghost store, we would always already be in full swing of our event season, and that ends in the October. So, to be honest, the first dispatch in, I probably won't get one. Because I would rather my customers got one than I had one, and I don't have a use for it between then and when I'll probably get the next dispatch, which I'm hoping will be November. It may not be till December, but it's one of those things, and I think it'll go out, and I'll just see the nice boxes going in the post and stuff, and that'll be it. I guarantee I will get one of these.
Crying as you wave at it going through the post box. That's terrible. No, but I'd like to say personally that if I ever got a shipment of them to sell, which I'm never going to even attempt, but if I ever got a shipment of them for sale, if I got 10 of them, I'd probably buy one myself straight off the top. That's just me being sad.
Well, you're a sod anyway, so I mean that makes no difference to me.
Yeah. Oh, God. I don't know how to take that anymore. But yeah, I just give up. But no, as I said, I mean, we're coming to the end of the show now, so what I am going to say to you, Tim, is I'm over the moon you came back on. You've always got an empty slot for whenever you want to pop on the show. If you want to come on and tell us about something new, if you want to come on and plug an event, let us know. We're always going to be on this side for you. So yeah, that's definite. That's 100%.
Definite.
Now, I have got one other thing to plug, and sadly, it's got to be. I think is there a competition that is running at the moment? Is it, Kurt?
Yeah, it's for next week's guest, Daryl Barry. Daryl Barry. He talks about out-of-body experiences and stuff like that.
Yes, he does. And we have, for next week, we have got a book giveaway. So that's all I'm going to show you at the moment, is I'm going to show you that it's a book giveaway between the 1st and the 8th of August. It's for his book, which is Travel Far. What I'd suggest you do, guys, is dive over to our Facebook page, find us on Facebook, find the event, which we're going to be posting like lunatics, and just come to the event. And what we're going to do is we're going to give a copy of the book away to one of the viewers. Whoever wants a copy of it, go for it. Just come on the show.
Yeah. Plus this Thursday, I do want to plug that the Conspiracy Corner is going to be out with hopefully Nigel Watson's going to be appearing.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm looking forward to that because hey, they're going to kill it. They're going to kill it. I know they are.
Hell yeah. If they haven't got black helicopters over the house by now, they will.
Yeah, those guys they probably have.
Shifty. I love the guys who run it. They're two of my very close friends. But one thing I will say is, what they don't know about conspiracies is possibly not a conspiracy. But in the same breath, my God, listen to them. You just get talking to them, and you mention conspiracy, and they look, both of them just get deep into it. You just sit there and go.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I go, I know nothing.
Yeah,
it's like I know nothing.
I got nothing to add to this conversation.
I
know a lot. I know a lot about a little, and it's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we are now. As I said, guys, I'm afraid it's time for us to call it a day. So what I'm going to say is thank you very much, Tim, for coming on.
Yeah, Tim, thanks a lot, man.
Kurt, thanks very much for allowing me to still exist on air. For this week at least, and
no, we're going far, dude. It ain't nothing's gonna change. We've actually, Tim, believe it or not, our first show, we dropped the C-bomb more times, the CT bomb we call it, more times back and forth. It turned out to be an all-out war between all of us. I'm surprised it's up on or YouTube right now. And that we haven't been arrested for obscenity law or something like that.
Yeah, but this show, we haven't sworn. That's good. It's impressive. I'd like to say we all fall victim to not swearing, but I'm pretty sure I heard Tim sneak a swear word in before.
Might have done.
One or two. Don't worry. I've been called far worse. A certain person on this show, sitting on the left-hand side of you on the screen to me at the moment, called me something which would have possibly got me arrested and locked in Guantanamo Bay. But let's leave it there.
I ran my mouth. I apologize for that.
Don't apologize. I can edit. Don't worry. But nevertheless, Tim, a great show. Thank you for coming on. And Kurt, saying goodbye to you guys and everybody who's been watching. Thanks very much.
Thanks,
bye, guys.
Awesome. Cheers.